some information is a little bit outdated, and I will tell you which one is. But anyway, anytime that you want to find some specific piece of information, just go to this website. Okay. Right. Let me tell you the purpose of the course first. So the course contains 5 different small courses on Coursera, and these 4 courses and 1 final project or capstone project. All of them are included in a specialization or spec for short. So the purpose of this spec is to prepare you, to teach you how to write at university level. Maybe writing in English or writing essays or assignments at university is not something that you are familiar with, or it's even something that you are going to do in the near future. But if you think about it long term, you will see that learning to write effectively in English is extremely helpful to you when you graduate and you enter the workforce, because I assume that you will communicate in English quite a lot. So that means it involves both speaking and writing. For example, you email your customers or you email your colleagues in English. What I'm trying to say is, while the course is called academic writing, and you are not going to write anything economics, these writing courses are still very useful to you to help you write better in English. Okay. In that case, if you do not think that you are going to focus on academic writing, my suggestion is to focus on the first, the second, and the third courses on Coursera. But if you want to improve your writing skills because you feel that you are already confident with your basic writing skills, MOOC number 4 and MOOC number 5 are for you. And if you want to further your study, you might want to go overseas to further your study, to take a master's or a PhD degree. These courses are going to be extremely useful to you, especially MOOC number 4 and MOOC number 5. Anyway, all in all, I think that FPT University is doing absolutely amazingly in offering you the opportunity to expand and to improve your writing skills in English. Anyway, let's have a look at, that is the purpose of the spec. And how about some requirements that the course set out here? Number 1, join the course online when being invited by the admin. So I'd like to check, I'd like to ask you, have you enrolled or have you, before you can enroll, have you received my question is on the chat now. Have you received any invitations from FPT's course admin? Just answer by posting yes or no. Thanks, Hiếu. How about others? Yep, that's a great. Tiền Anh, Phương and Thế Anh. And Duy, thank you. So far, 5 of you have confirmed that you have received an invitation from the course admin. Good. My next question is, have you enrolled? If you have received an invitation, have you enrolled yourself? Okay, yep. That's all right, Hiếu. How about others? You have invited or you have enrolled, Hoàng? Okay. So my understanding is you or all of you indeed have received an invitation, but you haven't enrolled, right? If you haven't, that's fine. You still have quite a lot of time. But my suggestion is to enroll as soon as possible and start learning. It's because if you look at number 6, requirement number 6 on the chats, you will see that you must complete all MOOCs with certification in order to take APT's final exam. So yeah, plan ahead, and I highly recommend, I highly suggest start doing some learning as soon as possible so that you can complete all those courses and in order to qualify for the final exam. Okay. Number 2, once you have enrolled in each MOOC or each course of the spec, take those courses regularly and plan to give at least 5 hours per week to study. Studying here involves watching videos, reading materials, taking quizzes, and writing, of course, because the course is about writing. So expect to write a lot. Number 3, respect the code of conduct set out by Coursera. There are different rules, but 2 things. Trường, I've just seen your question. I will get back to that later, okay? Once I have presented these student tasks. I'm talking about, yep, you have the same question, Hùng, Minh Hùng, right? Yeah, so I will answer your question after I have presented these student tasks. So I was talking about code of conduct. Like I said, there are a number of rules, but 2 things that I would want to tell you. First, it concerns plagiarism. Plagiarism means copy material from sources. So the simplest definition of plagiarism is copying material from any sources. It could be from the internet, it could be from someone else writing, and it could even be from a project, a piece of writing that you submitted before, and now you took a large chunk of text from a work that you already submitted. You copied it and you pasted it in your current assignment and you submit it again. That's also considered a plagiarism. You just can't submit something twice, right? Plagiarism means copying material from any sources and pretending that it is yours. It is your own writing. That is the shortest and the simplest definition of plagiarism. Maybe in Vietnam it is a little bit different, but in many other universities in the world, plagiarism is taken very, very seriously. And if one or if a student is spotted committing or plagiarizing from this, some form of punishment is carried out. An example of it is if more than 25% of your writing is taken from somewhere, at least 10% of your total score is deducted. In more serious cases, students might be expelled from a course. Their degree might be not conferred, or in some extreme situations when heavy plagiarism is committed, a court case might be conducted. I don't think that that happens very often, but I just want to tell you that plagiarism is taken very, very seriously. The course that you are going to take on Coursera, the writing course that you are going to take on Coursera is provided by University of California, which is in the US. And in the US, plagiarism, the US is one of the countries that takes plagiarism extremely seriously. So because we are taking their course, we have to follow the rules. Okay, so I hope that you also take plagiarism very seriously too, and indeed write everything by yourself. And I think that it's not only about following the rules, but it's also about your own learning. If we just copy from others, we won't learn anything. Pretty much. I mean, that's the common sense that I think that everyone can see, right? And by doing the work ourselves, we respect ourselves and we also respect others. Okay. The second thing, I mean, speaking of respect, it is the second thing that I want to talk about regarding code of conduct. Who are you going to respect here? First, you respect yourself by being honest and doing your own work. Do not copy from anywhere. And on Coursera, in this course, you are not going to receive any teacher feedback. All feedback comes from other course takers or other learners who are also taking the course like you. So your writing, your essays are going to be randomly assigned to someone. They're going to read your essays and to give you some feedback. And likewise, you will be assigned different essays, different work to read and to give feedback. So that's called a peer feedback or student feedback. So when you give feedback to others, use respectful, polite language. Do not use slangs. Do not bring up taboo topics, something like that. And, I mean, treat others the way that you want them to treat you. That's what respect means. Yes. And another thing is there is a forum on Coursera where you communicate and you discuss assignments with other course takers. So the same as with giving feedback, when you communicate and when you post answers or questions in Coursera forum, use respectful language as well. So yeah, for other rules, just go to this website and you will learn more about other rules. But because plagiarism and being respectful are the most important thing, most noticeable things. So I think that I should tell you instead of asking you to go and read about them. Of course, you will learn more about plagiarism and being respectful on this website. But yeah, I think you got what I mean. Plagiarism and being respectful are the most important thing regarding code of conduct. Number 4, actually, this should be number 4. Keep online learning progress accomplished. And the good news is if you complete each course on time, you will receive 0.2 points per course. So that means that for 4 courses and 1 final project, you will receive 1 point as a bonus point if you complete each or all of those courses and final project on time. I mean, 1 point might not be a lot, but it can be a matter of fail or pass. If you get 4 points so your final exam and you have a 1 bonus point, that means you will pass the course. But if you do not have any bonus point during the course and you only gain 4 points at your final exam, that means you will fail. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I think I already covered number 5 here. Communicate and discuss in forum. Whenever you communicate in the forum, use respectful language. I think, like I said earlier, some information on this website was outdated. So currently, there are no offline sessions or offline classes on campus. Everything is done online. We meet every 2 weeks for the first of 4 classes. And for the last 2, I think we meet every 3 weeks. Number 7, I already covered that. I think you must finish all courses and final project in order to sit in the final exam. Any questions so far, class? No. Okay. Yep. I will go back to Trường and Hưng question. I am going to share with you a link to the course so that you will know where to enroll. Okay. Just a second, please. Okay, I have posted on the chat a link to this specialization. Please click on that. You have now had your own Coursera account, right? So go to Coursera, click on the link, and start exploring. I'm going to, while you are looking, I'm going to continue talking about these courses and specialization. Can you open the same thing as I'm showing you here? Can you? Okay, that's good. Yeah, thanks, Zui. What about others? Well done, everyone. So yeah, if you can open this, go down. So there are 5 courses in this specialization, as I showed you before. It is the same thing as you can see on FPT's website, FLM. So yeah, 5 courses are here. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's exactly the same as I am showing you on Coursera. So the first MOOC, the first course is on grammar and punctuation. Number 2, getting started with essay writing. 3, advanced writing. 4, introduction to research. And number 5, project. It is about research paper writing. Okay, so 5 courses together. And if you have received an invitation, you can enroll here. Just click on this and enroll yourself. Okay, I think that is fairly straightforward. Do you think so? After this class, you can you can enroll yourself and start doing some learning. Okay. Did I answer your question, Tuấn Trường and Minh Hùng? Now you know where to enroll, right? Okay, yeah, well done. Let's get back to our FLM website. So yes, let me tell you a little bit more about each course. In number 1, grammar and punctuation, it teaches you the fundamentals of writing in English. You must have taken multiple English courses, and you have done a lot of learning on English grammar and even English punctuation. But in the first writing course, they won't cover everything about English grammar. They just teach you some useful knowledge of English grammar and punctuation, so that you can write effectively in English. For example, they teach you some sentence types. There are 4 sentence types that you must know. in order to express yourself effectively in writing in English. So is that an example of what the grammar is about is the first MOOC. And punctuation, how to use the full stop, how to use English comma, so on and so forth. So the purpose of the first MOOC, while it is fairly simple and straightforward, it is very useful to help you write effectively in English. I took the course myself, and even though I have done tons of writing of all sorts, I still found the course very useful. In number 2, getting started with essay writing, you will learn to write 3 essay types: cause and effect, compare and contrast, and argumentative essay. If you have studied for international English tests such as IELTS or TOEFL, you must be very familiar with those essay types. But if you haven't, I still think that most or all of you have written 1, 2, or even all of those essay types before. So I don't think that MOOC 2 is entirely new to you. In your final exam, you will be asked to write one of those essay types that are covered in the second MOOC. So do it. Take it seriously if you want to do well at the final exam. Number 3, advanced writing. You will continue learning to write the argumentative essay. Besides that, you will also learn how to write 2 more new essay types. First, documented essay, and second, synthesis essay. Documented essay is an essay where you read something and you write a summary of, for example, of a journal article. A synthesis essay is where you read several articles or several reading sources, 2, 3 articles, for example, and then you write a synthesis or a summary of all sources, 3, 4 sources or 3, 4 articles that you are required to read. So MOOC 3 is a little bit more academic and more advanced. In number 4, introduction to research for essay writing, where you will be asked to read external sources and use the information in those sources to support your writing. And you will also learn how to document the sources that you use to support your writing in a list of references called works cited page. On a works cited page, you make a list of all sources that you use to support your writing. That way, you acknowledge the information that you got to support your writing, and it's also that way that helps you avoid plagiarism. When you get information from somewhere, you write down where you got the information from, right? You do not pretend that it is your own writing. But in order to present information on the works cited page, you must follow some guidelines to document them. And in our spec or in our courses, we use the MLA style. I would like you to spend maybe 3 minutes to figure out, 1, what does MLA stand for? And second, what is it about? So yeah, 3 minutes for you. Go online, use the internet to find out what analyze stands for and what it is about. 3 minutes for you. Once you have figured that out, post your question. I'm sorry, post your answer on the chat. Okay. Um, I'm I'm going to grab some water and I will be back shortly. Right, class? Any answers? No answers? Before I present what does MLA stands for and what it's about, I'd like to show you this example. What did I mean by MLA? What I mean by works cited page. So this is what a works cited page looks like. It shows a list of sources that you use or a writer uses to support their writing, right? So if you look at this example, you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 sources that this writer used in their writing earlier. So all sources used in their writing are documented here at the end of the essay or at the end of the article. Okay, so these sources are presented following the MLA style. There are various styles in the world. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. But in our course, we use MLA, and because you will be asked quite many questions on MLA, I think that it's good to know early on so that you can get familiar with it yourself from now, because there are a number of rules that you need to remember in order to answer well at your final exam. So MLA first, it stands for Modern Language Association. So what MLA stands for. And second question, what is it about? It's about some guidelines to cite and to document sources. Used to support one's writing. So I think that is the simplest, the most easy to understand definition of MLA. Some of you might be familiar with other styles, for example, APA. Then you might wonder what some differences between MLA and APA could be or are. In that case, I am going to show you this. I'm showing you Google Scholar. The difference between Google Scholar and the general Google search engine is only academic sources can be found in Google Scholar compared to everything in the general Google search engine. So for researchers and for scholars, Google Scholar is way better than the general Google search engine, because if you are a researcher or you are a scholar, everything that you deal with is academic, right? Then you are supposed to use academic sources, not anything that you can find on the internet. So using Google Scholar, you can find book chapters, books and research articles. Okay, you do not find the videos here. Just written works. So, for example, I need to find this journal article. Journal article nghĩa là bài báo khoa học thêm nhé. Mà bài báo khoa học thì nó thường nó luôn luôn được xuất bản ở trong một cái tạp chí nào đó. Thì tạp chí tiếng Anh có nghĩa là journal. Thế còn bài báo khoa học đăng ở tạp chí là journal article. So for example, I need to find this journal article. I go to Google Scholar. I type that title of the article here on the search engine. And then Google Scholar takes me here. And it shows me the article that I am after. So I will click on Cite. Then Google Scholar shows me some, there are five different styles. And I can immediately see some differences between MLA and APA, right? So what I would like you to do now is to look at MLA and APA and tell me some differences between these two styles. And 2 minutes for you. And anytime that you spot any differences, just post your answer. Post those differences on the chat. Okay, just the first two, MLA and APA. What are the differences? Are there any differences? Are there any similarities between these two styles? 2 minutes for you. Any answers? I just like to let you know that in order to learn and to retain information, it's best to figure out it yourself and only use teachers' answers or suggestions to check your understanding. Don't entirely rely on teachers' answers and expect teachers to provide all answers to you. Okay, so at first, at least try to say something, and then once I have provided my answers, just check and compare your answers and mine, and that way you will remember information better and you will learn better. Really. Yeah, I still give you just 1 more minute. And anything that you want to say, that's fine. Do not worry too much about being right or wrong. Okay, so I guess that at least you have spotted several differences, and I think that, yeah, thanks a lot, Hio, for your answer. It looks very detailed, and and I think that you got all similarities and all differences actually accurate. For example, author names, last name, first name, ABA, last name, initial. Yeah, exactly. So the name of the authors are written in full in MLA, right? While in APA, only last name is written in full, but an initial is used for first name. Very good. Yep. Formatting of title. Okay, MLA quotation marks the 4 chapters for the titles, right? APA is not. Yep, that looks great. So Hio has spotted 2 differences. The first one relate is about the author's name. Yeah, that's very good. And the second thing is title. Very well done. Yeah. Thế Anh, thank you very much, Trung Hiếu. And Thế Anh has spotted the same the same differences between MLA and APA. That is about the author's name, right? Yes, that looks very good. And the second thing, as you can see there, posted by Chung Hieu, concerns the title of the source. This is a journal article. In MLA, a journal article title is put in quotation mark, but in APA it isn't. Okay. My other suggestions to guide your thinking concern the year of publication. Second, name of journal. Number 3, volume and issue number. And finally, a page range. No, I mean one more thing, punctuation. So yeah, so my 4 suggestions concerning both similarities and differences between MLA and APA. So look at those things, name of the journal, the volume and issue number, a page range and punctuation, to see whether you can spot any similarities or differences between the two styles. Is there any differences in the way that the name of the journal is formatted? In this case, the name of the journal is International Journal of Management Reviews. That is the name of the journal. The volume number is 7 and the issue number is 2. A page range is 73 to 90, and punctuation, of course, commas, full stop, yeah, quotation marks, brackets, things like that. Any answers? I think let's start talking about those things one by one. I think that everyone can see that there's no difference between MLA and APA regarding the way that the name of the journal is formatted, right? They are both italicized in MLA and APA here. But the volume and issue numbers are formatted slightly differently. So here, the volume number is followed by an issue number, and a full stop or a little dot separates the two of them, right? But here in APA, the volume number is in italics. That is not in italics. Number 7 in MLA is not italicized. But the issue number is put in square brackets. Okay, I'm sorry, round brackets. About the year of publication in MLA, the year comes before a page range, but in APA the year comes immediately after the author's name here. There's no difference in the way that a page range is formatted in MLA compared to APA. But just note that in MLA, a semicolon separates the year and a page range, but a comma separates the volume number and a page range in APA. So I think that in terms of punctuation, it is easier to remember in APA. So just a dot after the author's first name, initial, actually. Another full stop here, another full stop here, and everything else is just a comma between different sources of information and a full stop at the end. But in MLA, here, after the author's first name, a full stop, another full stop within or before the last quotation mark, a semicolon after the year publication, and finally a full stop. Okay, so when it comes to punctuation, there are some differences between MLA and APA. So that I think that everything I would want to show you about some similarities and differences between MLA and APA styles. Why am I telling you all of this? It's because as your final exam, you will be asked a number of questions on MLA style. So you need to know some rules of MLA in order to answer questions well. I mean, while most of the questions at your final exam are multiple choice questions, but in order to answer them well, you need to remember some rules, right? In some questions, they give you wrong or inappropriate citations, and they ask you to correct them. So you can't correct them if you don't know what some rules or some guidelines of MLA are. So yeah, like I said, it's a good to know early on so that you will keep learning, keep exploring this style. I think that the last part of our lesson today is of our tutorial today is about the final exam. If you go to the end of the FLM website, you will see some information about the final exam. As you can see here, there are two parts. In part one, you will be required to read an essay. It could be of medium length, or it could be a long form essay. And after reading it, you will be required to answer a number of questions. Here they say between 5 and 20, but I don't think that there are only 5 questions. On average, there are about 15 questions in part 1. Just remember that you are not required to, the purpose of this task is not to check your reading comprehension. Instead, it checks your knowledge of writing. For example, the knowledge of MLA style, the knowledge of essay writing, where or what or which is the topic sentence of a particular paragraph. What is the function of a particular paragraph in an essay? So things like that, knowledge of writing instead of reading comprehension. Okay, and there are on average 15 questions in part 1. You will have about 30 minutes to do task 1, and the weight of this task is 50% of the total score. In number 2, in part 2 of the second part of the test, you will be required to write an essay, and like I said, the essay type is one of the 3 essay types that you learn in the second course or MOOC 2, getting started with essay writing. So yeah, in order to do part 2 well, take MOOC 2 or the second MOOC seriously. You will have 60 minutes to do this part, and its weighting is also 50%. Just note that this information is not up to date. In the past, students were required to write between 350 to 400 words, but now you are asked to write between 400 to 450 words. So yeah, you are expected to write longer essays. It is because in the courses that you study on Coursera, you will be taught to write medium length to long essay, not short essays. So you expect to write between 5 and 7 paragraphs in part 2 in your final exam. I just note that you are not allowed to use the internet or any books or materials to support you while you are taking the test. Just knowledge from your head. Okay. So yeah, I think that's everything I need to tell you about the course, some introduction about the course, and I hope that it has been useful to you. And what I would like you to do after this tutorial is to enroll and start taking the first course on grammar and punctuation. Okay. Any questions so far?
Yeah, well, I kind of got here late, so how do I enroll and where do I enroll?
Okay, yeah. Where to enroll here?
Oh.
Yep, I have posted a link on the chat. Can you see that?
Yeah. Okay, I can see it now.
Okay. Yeah.
Enroll. Okay.
Yeah. So if you click on that link, you will be taken to this website. Can you see the same thing on your computer?
Hold on. Yeah, what I have on my screen is kind of different.
Kind of different, really. Can you share your screen, Quang?
Okay, hold on. Share window. So this is what I have. Can you?
Yeah, exactly. Go down. Yeah, so here are all the courses that you have to take. Okay, start with the first one on grammar and punctuation. Click on that one. Yep, and then it seems that you already enrolled.
Okay.
Yeah, and then start learning from here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Quang. Any other questions? Is that everything you want to ask, Quang?
So far, yes. If there's anything else, maybe I will ask later.
Okay, cool. Yep, thank you. How about others? You good for now, or is there anything you want to ask me? If no questions, I think that we can stop a little bit early, and yeah, you can do other things. If you have any question and you want contact me, email me at I have posted my email address on the chat. You're very welcome to contact me. All right. And I think that we are not going to have any tutorials between now and TED holiday, but we will meet after TED holiday. Okay. So yeah, I hope you will have a lovely TED celebration with your family and loved ones, and I will see you again after TED. Okay. Goodbye for now, and all the best to you in the new year. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks, Hùng. Yeah. Thanks, Thế Anh. See you later then. Bye for now.